So in video 1, you learned how to make 2 pinch pots like these, and in video 2, you're going to put them together, and you're also going to learn how to make the noisemakers that go inside. So let's begin. Okay, now that you have your 2 pots made, what you're going to do is you're going to set them aside. They may be kind of flimsy, that's fine, you'll be able to fix them in a minute. But you're going to go back into your bag where you put your extra clay, and it should still be moist because you had it in the wet cloth in the bag. And what you're going to do is you're going to break off 3 little pieces and roll them into balls. Not too big, not too small. And what these are going to do, they're going to be the noisemakers that you put inside of your pinch pots. So if you make them a little too big, you can take a piece off. If you make them a little too small, you can add a piece on, no big deal. So put your extra clay back in your bag, wrap it up, and now that you have your 3 small balls that you made, you're going to take small, and I want to emphasize a small piece of newspaper, and you're going to wrap each ball up. Just enough to cover it. You don't need a lot, because if you do use a lot of newspaper, what's going to happen is when you shake your rattle after it comes out of the kiln, it's going to look like it's snowing. So you have your 3 pieces of balls, clay balls wrapped up. Just set those aside right now. So now to get back to your pots, they're going to be kind of flimsy. If they're too stretched out, just pinch them back together, and since they're sitting here, you kind of got a flat bottom, so you're going to want to smooth that out. But measure them again to put them together. And you want to make sure they're generally the same size. So give or take, mine fits together pretty well. So what I'm going to do next is either using the pin tool or the rib tool with the teeth. You're going to put the clay pot in your hand, and you are going to score all of the edges. So you can see what that does. Or using this tool, and you want to be rough with it. You don't want to be dainty, because otherwise your clay won't stick together. What you're doing right now is you're making a Velcro for the clay, so the 2 edges will stick together. So right now is where you can take out all your aggressions, so maybe that bad grade, maybe someone's annoying you, brother or sister. Just here you go, take it out on the clay. So you're going to get both sides done. Don't worry about messing up your pot, you'll be able to fix it. So once you've scored both sides, you're going to take your slip and you're just going to put it on the top of both sides. Don't worry about messing up what you did. You don't want to push too hard though, because otherwise you will close all of the little cuts that you just made. So once you've slipped and scored both sides, the next step is to take your 3 wrapped up clay balls and put them inside. Make sure that one fell out, that they stay wrapped up. And then holding this one in the palm of your hand, take the top, kind of fit them together. So just like Velcro. And what you're going to do using your finger, so you are going to smush the 2 sides together, making the Velcro or the clay go together. So at this point, you should have something that kind of looks like a oddly shaped ball that you will fix. So again, I want to emphasize that you slipped and scored both sides, otherwise your ball will come apart and it won't work properly. And also remember, if your clay is getting too dry, which means it's cracking, what you're going to want to do, my clay is pretty much fine right now, but just a reminder, is you're going to want to take the water bottle and spray it on your hands and then take it to the clay. Otherwise, if you spray it on the clay, it'll get too wet. And if you don't use any water, then it'll be too dry and it won't work out. Clay is very finicky in the way that it just is, so it can either be too wet or too dry. You have to have it just right in the right spot. So now that you have this ball that you've made, we're going to move on to the next step.